All right. Hey guys, let me make sure this is working right. Hello everyone. I don't really know how to work Instagram Live, let's be honest. So hopefully this is recording. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Yes. It's a cold one.
Yeah, it's like 30
Feels
degrees.
like 8 degrees outside.
Seriously, like I've been in a sweatshirt all day because it's been freezing. Look, some people are watching.
Yay, we have coffee.
Yeah, we do. I got a peppermint mocha and I am not mad about it. Anybody else get lipstick all over the rim? It's crazy. I do. Guys, this is my friend Joy. I'm gonna move this because she's tiny and little and you won't see her if I don't. But we are at our church. This is our kids ministry area. We actually painted this little mural. It's not actually a little mural. Maybe I'll show you the rest of it.
The whole room.
Yeah, it does. But anyway, we just thought we'd come on tonight and say hello. You're welcome to ask questions if you want to, and I will do my best to answer them. We will do our best to answer them.
Yes.
As we drink our hot chocolates, or rather, it's just coffee. I probably should have asked for decaf.
That's all right.
It's okay. Anyways, wanted to get on here because it is Advent box season, and I know I've been talking a lot about this lately, but I just thought it might be fun for you guys to meet Joy, see her awesome personality. She's great, and I know you're like, great, thanks for the pressure. Do something. No, I'm just joking. But I wanted to just kind of go through the Advent box that we've prepared for this year, just as a little sneak peek, and answer the questions that you guys might have, just in case. Hi, everybody. Man, who else is coming on? Oh, there's Lily. Hi, Lily. Oh, thank you, Lane. Lane says you're awesome.
Oh, Lane, I love you. I wish you lived here.
I know, me too. Come back. Yeah. So anyways, okay. So first, I wanted to be sure and tell you guys one of my favorite things about this Advent box that we have created that you can order right now is that all of the proceeds of these boxes are going toward our church's Orphan Care Fund, which obviously you guys know adoption is a big deal to me and Joy, but I'm really excited. We are gonna hopefully be able to donate a good chunk of cash to our church's Orphan Care Fund. We actually have some friends that are literally in the process. They're super close to getting their baby boy home from India, and I've seen his adorable little face, and y'all, it makes me so excited to think about being able to contribute a good chunk of money toward them, just like so many people did for us when we were in our adoption process.
Yeah, they're in this last little bit, and so many times I think that feels so discouraging.
Yeah.
So for all of you like who buy a box, to be able to rally around them, even those of you who have no idea what their names are, like how encouraging that will be that people are praying and joining them in the wait, I think is so awesome.
Yeah, that's huge. That's super huge. This is not just for your family, you're actually helping create other families through this. So obviously, like, we care a lot about that, and that's a big deal in this whole thing. So please know that when you send us your dollars, it's not just going toward supplies, it's going toward actual families, and it will be felt literally across the world, which is awesome.
So cool.
So anyway, okay, I wanted Joy to tell her story a little bit about how Advent celebration started with your family.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yes. So I started celebrating Advent when I had just one kiddo. My son Barrett, he's 8 now, but we started celebrating several years ago, and just really fell in love with it. And we covered a lot of stuff that Christmas, and his little brain did not process everything he was learning. Like, there's no way he could understand everything we talked about. But I know that seeds were planted in his heart because it was that year and the year after that he really began to understand what Jesus came to do for us. And so it was just a couple years after we started celebrating Advent that he trusted Jesus as his Savior, which as a parent, like, you pray for that before your kids are born, and you look forward to that day. And so I always look back to Advent as a huge spiritual marker in his life, knowing that made a difference for him. So since then, we've tried to celebrate Advent every year. And the first time we celebrated Advent, we attempted to do something every day of December. And when I added another child, that just felt near impossible.
This is a lot.
I spent like so many days, I felt like trying to find everything I needed to do like the projects and make it special, and it was just too much. And so I started to do something that was just once a week centered on the actual Advent candles that you find in a wreath. And the next year, Lissa said, let's put it on paper.
I forced her.
She made me put it on paper. I think I said one day we were having coffee, and I said, someday, I really think it would be cool to put this on paper to share with families. And she was like, we have 2 weeks.
It's now we're doing this. Honestly, though, because I've seen, I was at the same point. We have our boys are the oldest, and they're the same age. And I had just struggled on how am I going to teach my kids to anticipate Christ more than the actual presents that are under the tree. And so that was a real challenge to me. And here was my friend who had a structure and had something that was working really well for her kids. They were having fun, intentional family time. And I just loved that. And so I really am really thankful for Joy, because it's not just, a cutesy little craft or something like that. Like literally every part of each of the, curriculum things that she's put together, like they all incorporate the theme, and it's short and sweet. It's perfect for kids. But Advent, what is Advent? I honestly really didn't know what Advent was. I remember growing up in a Baptist church, and I would see did y'all have the candles?
Yes, we had like a little podium with the wreath on it.
Yes.
And we would the
pink candle and the purple candles and the white. I remember seeing that stuff, but I honestly had no idea what that was. And I don't ever remember, I remember seeing them lit on Sundays, but I don't know that I was ever told what they represented or anything like that. So can you explain a little bit what Advent?
Yes. Advent, I think by definition, is just a season of expectant waiting in preparation for the coming of Jesus at Christmas. So different churches have different traditions. So like Lissa mentioned, the colors of the candles. In this particular experience, we don't reference the colors of the candles. We try to keep it pretty simple as far as that goes. But what I love about Advent, obviously I love Christmas and I love Advent and what it represents, waiting, preparing our heart for Jesus. But what I think is so important is that our kids understand when Jesus came as a baby at Christmas, he didn't stay a baby. He came at Christmas, but we have to connect it to the cross. If we want our kids to know and follow Jesus, then this exciting time of year that has become about presents and Santa and all of that is so fun, but we want their hearts to turn to Jesus and what he did for them. He came as a baby, but he went to the cross to save us. So Advent is just preparing your heart and inviting Christ into your home this season. It's just a really good way to do that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that this is set up for a weekly basis. And so really what it has done for us is, for our kids really, because each candle represents a different theme, hope, it's hope, peace, joy, love, and then Christ on Christmas Day. And so it's fun because the repetition actually teaches our kids well. So week to week, they're first we lit the hope candle, and now it's peace week. And they remember those themes, and all of those themes point to Christ. So that's just been good. It's great for our kids. The repetition is so nice. We had a question on there about the Advent wreath and making an Advent wreath. So our box does not come with an Advent wreath, but you get to make your own. So this can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. It's been really fun to get to see different people's ideas and what they do. Tell us about yours.
I bought a tray at Hobby Lobby. And I put mason jars with Epsom salt in the mason jars and little candles in it. And then I put chalkboard labels around each candle that labeled what each candle represented. And then my Christ candles in the middle. So mine's not like a traditional Advent wreath, but I love that Lissa has said you can put 5 candles on a paper plate, 5 tea lights, and that's totally fine.
You literally
birthday
just
candles and a donut. I mean, we don't care.
It really does not matter. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. I would suggest, just for consistency's sake, put it in a place where you guys or your family will see it on a daily basis, because it just allows your kids to talk about it more often.
Right.
I feel like
ours is on our dinner table, so we typically try to do our Advent time on Sunday or Monday night at the beginning of the week. If we can't squeeze it in on a Sunday, it's okay. We just want to get it done at some point. But then throughout the week, when we get to sit down at the dinner table to eat together, we'll light whatever candles we've talked about that week. so that we can continue that conversation. It just keeps those ideas on their minds too.
Yeah. It's so really, literally all you need is 5 candles and a lighter.
Yes.
And those can be in whatever form. The first year we did it, I had like this candelabra. I found it at IKEA. Last year I used like 5 random candlesticks and like kind of made this wreath thing around and used tea lights. I think we had to replace some of the tea lights because they burned out. I mean, it does not have to be fancy, but it is also a fun opportunity. Like if you want to get your kids involved and let them pick out things or, you know, put your little touch on it, which is super fun to me. So anyway, so let us show you the box.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So when you order an Advent box, you will put down how many kids you have or how many kids you're ordering for. So we can fit up to 4 kids' supplies in one box. And literally our goal was we want this box to arrive at your house and you do 0 prep work. Yes. And when it's time to work on Advent, you open it up and it tells you exactly what you need. So the first thing you'll see, this is your curriculum. I guess it's called, we can call it curriculum. That sounds kind of,
studies.
Yeah, that's
a little formal.
Yeah, curriculum sounds really formal and stuffy. It's not that, trust us. But basically, Joy has...
Well, let's talk about these illustrations because you could frame these and hang them in your house. Lissa did these custom for this Advent experience.
I know.
Like,
Isn't this little fox so cute?
She's so awesome.
Thank you.
I think you should name your fox and make it like Adventures of...
That would be fun.
So and so.
Yeah, we need a good fox name. Or you can have, your family can have its own fox.
That'd be fun. So take your fox on your adventure. But these are beautiful, frame-worthy.
Thank you. You're sweet. So, okay, here is what the first page looks like. In this area, it'll always tell you kind of a getting ready thing. And like I said, there's really no prep work. It basically just tells you like, you're gonna need these things that are already in your box. Things that might not be in your box are like a lighter,
And your candles.
And your candles, which you'll pretty much know that those are required. So this kind of tells you what you do. There is one day that you'll do a little something before you get started. You're going to hide something for your kids for them to find later. So if you want to consider that prep work, we warned you. But it's not hard.
But it tells you to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
It gives a reminder.
It's very straightforward. And then this section is going to tell you a little bit about how, like, what you're going to do throughout the lesson. You jump in. There's always an introduction activity. You want to share with them kind of some of the activities?
Yeah, should we just tell them about hope?
Sure.
So the first week, the way that we teach hope, because hope is such an abstract concept for kids, that's a difficult thing to explain. So the way that we've explained it in this is that hope is like having light in the darkness. And since hope is the first week, it also introduces that we're lighting a candle. Candles give light in the darkness. But for this first activity, in your box, you will have a set of glow sticks that we have for you. And see, they're right here. So we want you to kind of go into a closet or turn the lights off in a room and just say, how does it feel to be in the dark? How would you feel if you had to be like that all the time? But then give your kids the glow sticks, let them crack them, light them up. You can play with them in there for a little bit. And then just say, like, I don't feel near as scared or lost as I did in the dark. And that just introduces this idea of hope. Jesus came to give us hope, which is like giving us light in the darkness. And then your Bible reading that night focuses on an Old Testament passage that talks about how people were living in darkness, but a light would come. And then how Jesus later said, I am the light of the world. And so your kids are making that connection too.
Yeah. And the Bible reading is really simple and sweet. If you can see, it's kind of here in just this middle section. It's like a few little sentences here, and literally Joy has written out, like, here's what you say. And you just read it to your kids. It's very just simple, and I love it. There's always scripture that your kids are hearing, which is important. And while you are reading the Bible study, that's when I always bust out this little packet. This is just coloring pages for your kiddos. So there's the hope one right there that matches kind of the illustration. Thank you. I love them. And so this is just to keep little hands busy if you have children who are not super excited to sit down and listen for a minute, which are all of mine. This is perfect for that time. So we keep that handy. Usually Sean and our family will read.
Yeah. And you don't have to read it. You don't have to read it word for word. It's just a guide for you to use. You know, for those of you who want more of a guide, you can read straight from the page, and it's seem like I tried to make it really natural, a way that you would talk to your kids, the way you ask questions and how you wait for responses. Like, it's all scripted for you, but you can just read over it ahead of time and give them the basic idea, whatever suits your family the best. So.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about it. And then it's ornament time. Every week has a little craft. This year they're ornaments, which I think is super fun because then you get to go hang them on your tree. This is our hope ornament for this year. It's a little stained glass star, which will be beautiful because the light will shine through the tissue paper.
Why don't you show them what it looks like in the bag?
Okay.
Show them week 1, right there.
So here's the baggie, and you'll have a baggie like this for each of your kiddos. So if you order for 3 kids, you'll have exactly 3 of these. It literally comes with everything you need, all the star pieces and a glue stick.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can just be like, here's kid 1, here's kid 2, here's kid 3, and get started. We worked really hard to make sure that all of the crafts were pretty friendly to the moms who get to clean it all up. And so there were a few times that I was like, oh, let's do this. And Joy was like, absolutely not.
I tried to experiment with some of them, and I was like, Lissa, I was sweating and frustrated. By the end of this craft, we cannot do it.
So she vetoed a few, but you will be happy that she did because I tend to like go a little too far sometimes. So
I'm not as gifted.
No, it's just you're more organized. So be thankful for Joy in that instance. But yeah, so that's craft week 1. I will show you a little bit. Y'all, there's so many fun, a lot of the activities that we enjoyed last year, we went ahead and did again this year because my kids have already asked if they're gonna get wrapped up again this year. I don't know, I shared a video a few weeks ago of our kids wrapped up in wrapping paper, and it was hilarious and awesome. And so they're like already anticipating getting to do that again, and that's part of it. So anyways, do you want to go through the rest of these and show them, or do you want to just kind of...
We can show some examples. I did want to say, if you did this with us last year, one new thing that we added to the curriculum, or whatever you want to call it, is just a section called Continuing the Conversation. So, especially if you have older elementary kids, these are just some questions you can talk about. Like, for example, when we say the world is dark, again, some kids are like, no, it's not. The sun comes up every day. You know, it's not dark all the time. But we talk about maybe some people in your lives who are going through a hard or a difficult circumstance. So people might say they're going through a dark time. Can you think of anyone who's going through a situation like that? And then you go on to ask your kids, how can we encourage this person? How can we bring light to their dark situation? And so that might even give your family a chance to serve together. But it just continues to build on those conversations all week. And then we actually, one of the weeks, for those of you whose kids really start to understand the good news of Jesus, this Christmas, and that's what we're praying for. Like, when we ask you to put your kids' names on the order form, it's because we are praying for every kid by name, that they would, if they haven't trusted Jesus, that God would plant seeds in their heart, and maybe that God would bring salvation this Christmas. Like, how awesome would that be? But we put in here like a guide for you to share Christ with your kids at home. Like, I want you, as their parents or grandparents or whoever, to have that honor to pray with your kids to trust Jesus. So we even script that for you to help you have the words, what to say to your kids to share Jesus with them.
Yeah, that happens in week 3.
Yeah, it kind of builds.
Oh no, week 4.
Yep.
Sorry, the love week.
Love.
But yeah, by that time you've already discussed basically sin.
Right.
You've discussed hope and how Jesus offers that and offers his peace. And so yeah, it's kind of awesome because this is what I honestly always hoped for as a parent. And I think, you know, that's one thing I was nervous about, but also praying for at the same time was, what do I say if my kid is ready to accept Jesus? And she's literally written it all out right here for us. So I love that so much. But yeah, super awesome. This last day is Christ, and it's actually a shorter lesson. It's for Christmas morning, and y'all, this is such a special time. There's no activity or craft this week. You literally just get into the Bible, you read the Christ story, you light your Advent wreath, and by that time, it's just such a special time for your family. I think the kids just really start to anticipate it at that point. So it's super fun. It's really cool to start that morning off. I know that Christmas Day a lot of times can be chaotic and
so
crazy. So it is a wonderful time, you know, before you depart to see family or open presents or something, to have that moment.
8:30 a.m. and I need a nap.
Yes,
You know?
amen.
So.
Grab yourself a cup of coffee, another cup of coffee, and do the very last candle of Christmas. But it's super, super fun. I'm really excited about some of our other crafts. You're going to do a little bit of painting. This is probably my favorite little craft. Look how cute. Like our little globes. They say peace on them, which I think is super fun.
Peace on Earth.
Peace on Earth. Get it? See what we did there? And yeah, it's just going to be a blast. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. You do need to order these pretty quickly.
Sunday is technically the deadline.
Yes, and that is because we're shipping these. So doesn't matter where you live within the United States. Sorry, international people.
We'll like send you a digital download.
Yeah, that's true. We totally will because we want you guys to
Yeah.
enjoy it. But that's the reason we have such an early deadline, which is weird to do it before Thanksgiving. But this year, the first day of Advent is only 3 days after Thanksgiving, so we have to be on the ball.
Be ready.
So I will post a link. Hi, honey. Look, my husband's watching. Thanks, babe.
Hi, Sean.
I'll post a link here in just a minute. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, we would love to answer them. Thank you so much for being awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm glad she makes me do it.
No, I am.
Everybody needs a friend like Lissa.
Well, Joy, you just do such a good job. I'm hugging you. Thanks for doing it with me. Not saying no to all my weird ideas. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. And we're going to continue
We're
to
going to do a
drink.
giveaway this week too, maybe?
Oh,
We're gonna watch
yes.
for
Oh, my
that.
gosh. I knew there was something important. Yes, on Thursday, I believe, I'm going to give away a box.
Yay.
So be watching in my Instagram feed for that giveaway. It's going to be super easy to enter. All you're going to need to do is tag a friend. Seriously, that is it. You'll be entered to win a box for however many, up to 4 kids. And we're going to ship it to you, and we cannot wait to see. Those of you also who have already ordered one, we would love it if you would use the hashtag. We're going to try to remind you. But we have a hashtag, Hearts of Joy Advent, and it is so much fun to see everybody's pictures. I think that was one of my favorite things last year, is just seeing people post on a weekly basis of their kids lighting their candles and seeing everybody's Advent wreaths and how different and fun they were. So be sure to use that hashtag as well. So yes, stay tuned for Thursday. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
And I hope you all have a wonderful week. And I'm going to turn this off.
Bye.
Bye, guys.